Good morning, everybody. Happy snow day. I hope this recording will be helpful for you to be able to do your work and submit it to me by 5 p.m. So what I'm going to do today, I'm going to go over left-hand sum and try to make the difference between left-hand sum and right-hand sum for distance travel. And I'll try to explain it over two examples. The first example is we do have time is given from t equals 0 till t equals 10 within the intervals of delta t is equal to 2. And for each interval we have certain velocity recorded. So the question is the same: how far has the car traveled? Since we don't know how fast the car is moving at every moment, we can't calculate exactly the distance, but we can make an estimate. So the velocity is increasing and the car is going at least 20 feet per second for the first 2 seconds. And since we know that distance is equal to velocity time time, the car goes at least 20 times 2 feet during the first 2 seconds. 20 times 2 for the first 2 seconds. Okay, 2 seconds because each slice is 2 seconds, 20 because we do have 20 on the first 2 seconds, it's going 20 feet times 2, 40 feet. Likewise, it goes at least 30 times 2 feet during the next 2 seconds, and so on. So 30 times 2 on the next 2 seconds. Then we will have some estimate like that: 20 times 2 plus 30 times 2 plus 38 times 2 plus 44 times 2 plus 48 times 2, and that's going to make 360 feet. So the question is it underestimate or overestimate? That will be underestimate, because during the distance traveled during that 10 seconds will be underestimate, because during the first 2 seconds the car velocity was at most 30 feet per second. So it should be going 30 times 2, 38 times 2, 44 times 2, 48 times 2, and 50 times 2. Could be some other number. So let's see that. If I can do this calculation. 30 times 2, 38 times 2, 44 times 2, 48 times 2, and 50 times 2. And that will give us 420 feet. So then that will be overestimate. So the difference between this red line and the blue line, for the red part, or this approach, we are starting to slice our distance starting from 20 with the same interval, but we're then till going to 48. If we think that the first 2 seconds starts with 30 feet, if we try to slice it, if we start our slices from 30, then we're doing 30 times 2, 38 times 2, 44 times 2, 48 times 2, but this time we're taking 50 into an account. Okay, so the 2's are coming from delta t on both of them. It's not changing. Delta t is the same for both ways, both approaches. What is changing? The endpoints. And that's the way we're looking at it. So we can say that the total distance traveled will be somewhere between 360 and 420 feet. All right. Another way of looking at it, this is an approximation. This is the interval we're getting for this approximation between 360 and 420. Can we have a better approximation? How can that happen? How can we have a better approximation? So in the next example, we can claim that if we slice this into 1 second intervals, it could give us a better approximation. So with this approximation, again, we can decide our upper and lower limits of distance travel. Okay. So we're going to have a Neve lower estimate by looking at this red line, but this time our delta t's will be 1. So our new lower estimate will be 20 times 1, 36 times 1, no, 26 times 1, sorry. Okay, 30 times 1. Okay, 35 times 1, 38 times 1, 42 times 1, 44 times 1, 46 times 1, 48 times 1, and 49 times 1. So it's going to be 378 feet. Now, new upper estimate. Okay, according to this table, I'm not going to start with 20. I'm going to start with t equals 1, not t equals 0, because this is what we've done on the top example, the example before. But then we are going to go till 50 instead of 49. So the Neve upper estimate will be 26 times 1, 30 times 1, 35 times 1, and I'm not going to write all of them down. The last one will be, the last two one will be important. 48 times 1, 49 times 1, and 50 times 1. So our Neve upper estimate will be 408 feet. Now, hence one thing, we do have a better or smaller interval for total distance travel. Write it in black. 78 total distance travel.